All right, I'm going to
Okay.
unmute and I'm going to turn my video off.
Okay.
Okay. So I just wanted to let everybody know that I'm here to talk about toilet training or toilet learning. I kind of like to refer to it as toilet learning because I feel like it's a little softer approach to it when you talk about they're learning to use a toilet instead of like being trained. So I want to talk a little bit about some tips and some tricks, and then talk about signs of readiness, and then also some things that you can do at home to help along with the process. So I just want to start with saying that, for children to learn to use the toilet, it is a process. It requires time and it requires patience. I like to approach it more like in a child-directed way to kind of put them in charge of it instead of us kind of pressuring them. I think a lot of times as parents and adults, we feel pressured that our child should be using the toilet, they should be in underwear. My older child was potty trained by this time, why is this not one potty trained yet? Or my niece or nephew. But just realize that it takes patience, and that when the child is ready, it's going to happen. The other thing I want to point out is that all kids learn differently. Some kids learn by actually doing it, by practicing sitting on the potty, whether they're actually peeing or pooping in the potty or not, they're practicing. Other kids are observers. Like I honestly have had kids go through the 2-year-old program who never once sat on the toilet. But you could tell by what was going on with them when they were in the bathroom that they were observing. They were watching what the other kids were doing, and they were processing it all in their mind. And they literally have gone home and said to their parents, I'm ready for underwear, and they've been potty trained. So just because your child isn't sitting on the toilet doesn't mean that they're not working on toilet training. The other thing is that modeling is big, and I think you all have the advantage that your children are in group care, so they have the benefit of being, if they don't have siblings at home, they have the benefit of seeing the other children in the classroom model it for them. Anytime you're in the Starburst Comet bathroom, I guarantee you it's like a party going on, because there is a lot of things happening, a lot of kids observing, and a lot of teaching and learning going on in there. And the other thing is, as much as you can, to avoid a power struggle. I like to tell parents that there's 3 things that you can't force your child to do. One is to eat, one is to sleep, and the other is to poop or pee on the potty. And unfortunately, the time developmentally when children are learning to toilet train is a time where they want power and control. So pressuring them is just going to create a power struggle, and it's not going to be to anybody's benefit. So next, to talk about readiness skills. There's lots of different steps that need to go into a child using a toilet. If you think about it, they have to recognize how their body's feeling. They have to stop what they're doing. They have to get themselves to the bathroom. They have to pull their pants down. They have to actually get up on the toilet, use the potty, use the toilet paper, and on and on. So that's a lot for them to take in. So some things that you can do to kind of start the process is to talk to them when they're playing about how their body's feeling. Do you instead of saying it's time to go to the toilet, say, how is your body feeling? Do you feel like you need to use the toilet? You can work with them on learning how to pull their pants down and pull their pants up. Another sign of readiness is whether or not they can control their bladder and their bowels. Are their diapers staying long for a drier period of time? Like when you put them down for a nap in a dry diaper, are they waking up from their nap with a dry diaper 2 hours later? That's a sign that physically their body is learning how to control their bowels in their bladder. Another big step is can they follow directions? If you say to them, pull your pants down, can they follow that direction? And then really the final step is when they say to you, I want to wear underwear. that's kind of their final step of saying, I'm ready to do this. So some things that you can do in the meantime is when you're, one thing we do in the Starburst in the Comet room is that we do all of our diapering in the bathroom. So when we take the child into the bathroom, we encourage them to pull down their pants. We encourage them to take off their diaper, and then we give them the choice. Would you like to sit on the toilet today? Or are you ready to have your diaper put on? And we give them that control. So having them participate in the steps in the process of changing their diaper helps them understand the steps in the process that it's going to take when they're actually using the toilet. The other thing that we frequently do is we ask them when we bring them into the bathroom, is your diaper wet? Is it dry? Or is it poopy? To help them kind of become more aware of what their body's doing. Another thing that you can do is that you can take them out to Target or Walmart or wherever you prefer to shop and have them pick out some underwear. They're very proud and they're very excited to have underwear, and will frequently want to wear it even over their diaper, which is fine. If they want to wear it, that's part of the process too. And then have them help them purchase a toilet, because one of the big things that they want is, and you want for them, is for them to be able to get on the toilet by themselves. If they're needing your support to get up on the toilet, then that's going to hinder their ability to learn to be independent with it. A lot of kids like for their feet to be able to touch the ground. That gives them a sense of grounding and a sense of security. So some kids prefer the little toilets that you purchase separate that sit on the floor in your bathroom. Other kids are fine with just like a little step stool getting up on the regular toilet. And it might take a little bit of trial and error to figure out and see which type of toilet your child is most interested in. And then also giving them some responsibility at home to help them understand that things have a place where they belong. So helping them learn to put their toys away, and to know that the blocks go in the block bin and the Legos go in the Lego bin, helps them understand that their poop and their pee is eventually going to belong in the toilets. So that's kind of what I had. And if there's any questions, I'm free to answer.
Thanks, Melinda. I do have some prepared questions that parents have sent us, and also some frequently asked questions. And Emily, if you are on and want to ask some, please unmute and go ahead and ask as well. So one question was asked, what do you do about bedtime and nap time? So your potty training, what is the best practice to handle bedtime and nap time? Do you put them back into a diaper? Should they wear their underwear? What do you recommend?
I think each child is different. I mean, some children, from the get-go, one of the signs that we've, pointed out to parents that is indicating that they're ready is that they are waking up from their nap with a dry diaper. So if they're consistently waking up with a dry diaper, then just keeping them and putting them straight into underwear is fine. Nap or nighttime can be a little trickier just because it's a longer period of time. So some kids I know, like in our classroom, are fine during nap time, keeping their diaper dry or their underwear dry. But at home at nighttime, when they're in bed for 10 hours or so, they can't make that happen. So it's just up to each individual child and what they're able to do. I have read somewhere that until if a child is still wetting their bed at night past the age of 8, believe it or not, then it's time to be a little concerned and bring it up with the pediatrician. But that can happen, it can be a while before a child can actually make it all the way through the night without having an accident.
Thank you. So do you have a preference, or is there a rule of thumb about pull-ups or go straight into underwear?
My recommendation is to go straight into underwear. Pull-ups, to me personally, don't really teach the child anything different from a diaper, because when they use them, they still don't necessarily feel the wetness and the discomfort of that. And they're more expensive, but that's just my personal preference. If a parent, is more comfortable using pull-ups. One thing about using pull-ups is, part of the process we do with the children in the classroom is to teach them to take their diaper off. And so the child really, for a pull-up to be effective and helpful, really has to understand that they can just pull the pull-up down and then pull it back up if it's dry. And that they don't have to, they're so used to taking their diaper off that that's really what they want to do, is take a pull-up off even if it's dry. So for me personally, just going straight into underwear is just as helpful.
Thank you. So I've heard that girls are easier to potty train than boys. Is that true in your experience?
I would say not necessarily. I would say, each child is different. And I don't know. I mean, I think there may be some research that girls potty train a little bit sooner than boys, but I wouldn't necessarily say that that's easier, that they're easier. I haven't really noticed a difference, no.
My child pees in the potty just fine, but continues to have bowel movements in his or her underwear. How can I get him to do that in the toilet?
I think that you just need to have a lot of patience with them because they're figuring that out. Part of learning to use the toilet is the concept of holding on and releasing. So, I think pointing out to them when you notice that they're having a bowel movement and say, let's go try to put this in the toilet. But I think just a lot of patience. The last thing you want to do is to shame your child for having an accident or not being successful. So I just think patience, and I think with time it comes.
So my child is 3.5. Should I be worried that they're not fully potty trained yet?
No, I would not be worried. As long as they're showing some sort of interest in the toilet. Some kids do need like a little bit of coaxing to give it a try. But, I think some kids can be 4 before they're fully potty trained. So I don't think that 3.5 is any cause for concern. No.
So what are some simple ways to begin introducing the idea of the potty to our child, and when should we start doing that?
Some simple ways is just to involve them in the process of changing their diaper. Like I said, we do it all in the bathroom, in the Starburst and Comet room, just so that children kind of understand that toileting all happens in the bathroom. We have them pull down their diaper or pull down their pants, take off their diaper. So they are helping with that process. We're giving them the choice of, would you like to sit on the toilet this time? Or are you ready to have your diaper put on? So giving them that control and that choice. If they're poopy, we ask them, would you like me to, put your poop in the trash, or would you like me to put your poop in the toilet? And then, so usually they want to put it in the toilet, so they will help us, take the diaper and drop the poop into the toilet. They love to flush it and say goodbye to it. So I think just involving them in that process at home, even though they're still in underwear, helping them walk through the steps of using the toilet when you're changing their diapers and giving them a lot of choice around that.
So I have one last question, and it was a popular question. It was asked by 3 different parents. My child has regressed while at home now. She used to do fine, but now we're home all the time and she has had a lot more accidents. What should I do?
And that's common. I think, when kids are under stress, toilet training is one thing that is, likely to regress a little bit. And I think just having a lot of patience, understanding that, all of our routines have changed. It's no different than like if a family has a new baby brought into the house. Any sort of big change in a child's life is going to potentially cause them to regress. And I think, they've lost control. They've lost control of their daily routine. They've lost control over a lot of things in their life, which can be unsettling to them as much as it is, to adults as well. And I think just having patience with them. They might go through a phase where they need just a few more reminders to actually get to the bathroom on time and to pay attention to what their body's saying. But like I said before, the last thing you want to do is to shame your child and have them feel bad about the fact that they've had an accident. So I think just being matter of fact when the accident occurs that, you know, let's go clean this up. And just opening up communication and talking about what's changed in their life and reassuring them that it's all okay.
Thanks, Melinda.
Yeah.
So Emily or Hannah, if you have any questions now, feel free to ask.
Yeah, thanks. I have, I think, 2 questions.
Okay.
I mean, I have done this before, but it's, you don't remember the details.
Right.
But also going from a girl to a boy, he's not quite 2.5. He's shown a lot of interest in like everything except actually peeing on the potty. Like he likes to pull his pants down and sit, and do all of that. So I don't know if like now with all of us home is a good time to try to do more with that, or if it's just an added level of stress for everyone.
Yeah, you know, I would just keep doing what you're doing. If he, you know, is comfortable sitting on the toilet and he wants that to be part of his routine throughout the day, then I would just keep doing that. But until he actually starts peeing on the toilet, I wouldn't push him to do any more.
Okay. And the other question is, with boys, do you generally just start with them sitting down and worry about the standing later?
Yes. Unless you want your bathroom to be a mess. I would start with them sitting down. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, every once in a while we'll have a boy that has an older sibling and they, you know, are a little more motivated to try to stand up because it is pretty cool to be able to pee that way. But I wouldn't encourage it at this point.
All right. Yeah, I'd be fine. They just sat forever. So
yeah. And believe it or not, we've even had girls that have tried to stand up and pee, and some that have figured out a way to be successful with that. So.
Thank you.
Yes.
All right. Any more questions? Fabulous. Well, thank you, Melinda and Emily and Hannah for joining us.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thanks, Melinda.
No problem. All right. Bye,
always
Emily.
here with her expertise, so reach out.
Yes. You know where to find us.
Thank you, everybody.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.